Hello, it is June 9th, 7:59 p.m. And ooh, sorry, too much going on. Um Today I want to talk about I was actually listening to some of my older recordings. Ever since I moved to the States, so like 2017, 18. Specifically 2018, I started making myself voice notes and kind of like talking to myself, and it really like has served as like a personal savior for me, because hearing these voice notes back like years later or months later or whatever, it really helps me when I'm in like a calmer state of mind, and then I can like poke holes in my fears and anxieties and stuff. Anyways, probably the only time I'm gonna edit this video because my cat threw up and I had to go attend to that. Anyway, as I was saying, um, yeah, so those voice notes really helped me from like a calmer state of mind, to just go back and like poke holes in my thinking. So I was listening to one of these voice notes that I did like a couple of months ago, and or like last month actually, and it was about this problem that I've been having for a while now, and I would much rather keep it personal. But like, there's this thing I said in the flow of things, which I want to talk about today, which is God sees the way that you don't see, which is what I want to talk about. It kind of like expands upon this whole idea that when we specifically get into the law of assumption, or like Neville's work and stuff, we it's kind of like a set it and forget it type of a law, right? Like, you assume the wish to be fulfilled, and then you just like then you just like set that, you assume it, and then you persist in it, and then once it's done, it's just done. Like, you don't have to do anything else. But oftentimes we forget that, right? We think that we have to do all these things, we have to try so hard to make things be, and we don't do it from the position of already having. We don't do it from the position of already being. We don't do it from the position of those things. And the reason why God knows the way and you don't is, when I say God, I mean imagination, consciousness, universe, like same, all of it, synonymous. Love. You have to accept that you, the physical you, the person you are, doesn't know the way. And you will never know the way. You will never know. You will only know in hindsight. Let me give you an example. When I was manifesting this apartment, which I have talked about, I'd posted a video about it before, but then I deleted it because, anyway. But like, my point is, when I manifested this apartment, like before it had actually happened, the way it happened was so crazy to me that I didn't understand why things had to happen the way they happened until I got to this apartment. So like, let me give you long story short. I just started assuming, when I saw this apartment for the first time on Facebook, I started assuming that I was playing that piano. And after playing that piano, I just like felt like the feeling of like already like, oh my God, like I live here. I can't believe I live here. Okay. That's what I started doing. Then I saw it again in person, and that's when I started doing it again. And after that, like the person who was living here, like they kind of just like told me that they'll let me know, whatever. But then I never heard back from them, and it was like pretty like an emergency that I needed to move out as soon as possible. So I kept doing the things in my external that I needed to do. Like, I like tried everything possible to like keep looking for apartments, like whatever, but it just didn't work. Like, it just, nothing was like, literally nothing I was doing physically was working. And then I still remember I went to like tour an apartment in like another neighborhood in Philly, and I really wanted to live on the street. Like, I really, really wanted to live on the street that I am on right now. And I was like, on the way, like, on the Uber back from, like, that place that I toured to, like, my friend's house because I was crashing with her, I, like, remember, like, thinking to myself, like, there's just no way that there's not an apartment on this specific street that fits in my budget. Like, it's just not possible that it doesn't exist. Like, I remember thinking that. And I remember going to my friend's house and being like literally like crying myself to sleep because I was like, I'm gonna take a nap, like I can't do this anymore. Taking a nap, and like while taking a nap that I told her I was gonna take, I literally was like scrolling on Zillow, like still applying, like so crazy in hindsight. Anyway, I remember applying to this one apartment, and that lady said to me that tomorrow we can like tour it or whatever at like a specific time. And I was gonna be on the train, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like, it was a virtual tour, so I was like, sure. This apartment literally was fit perfectly in my budget. Was literally like everything I ever wanted in an apartment. And to make things even more amazing, it was on the street. It was like right across this apartment, which is so insane. So yeah, so like I was like, yeah, like I want this apartment. And in that meantime, I was talking to like these two like people who would be my potential roommates. And one of them, like, I had talked to her and I had really liked her. And when I like, well, actually, I hadn't found anyone for their apartment before. And I remember the person I was gonna live with, like originally, I remember her saying, like, because that apartment had 3 rooms, and one of the room was so tiny, like so tiny, that like it would only fit like a really small like cot, but it had its own bathroom and stuff. Anyway, but I remember that girl saying to me, who like I don't live with anymore, saying to me at that time, like, yeah, girl, I don't think it's gonna be possible for us to find like a third person for this apartment. And I just laughed to myself, and I was like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, I didn't say this to her. I thought this to myself. I was like, do you even know who you're talking to? You're telling me something's not possible? You're talking to the wrong person. And I was like, we are gonna find someone for this apartment, best believe. And we did. Yeah, my current roommate. That is what I'm about to say. Like, okay, I'm getting to the point. Anyway, long story short, that apartment fell through. I literally gave up. I was like, you know what? Never mind. I am never finding a place, whatever. This person originally who had told me that this apartment, like, they had, like, ghosted me, they reached back out to me, like, the day after I gave up, or maybe the same day, I don't remember. And I immediately told the girl, who is now my roommate, that this apartment is available, and yeah, that's how we became roommates. But, in hindsight, if I had never gotten that apartment, the other apartment, I would not have met my roommate. So I had to go through this entire like bridge of incidents to get to this apartment, because this scene, which actually happened in the external, where I played the piano and I actually did feel the relief of it, this exact scene happened. But when I had done it in my imagination, it was already done. Like, when I had visualized it, it was already done. And then I actually felt the reality of it, like, later. Like, down, like, maybe, like, 2 months later, like, when I moved in, then it actually, like, was a physical fact. But I already felt that in my imagination before. So what I'm trying to say is, like, your imagination or God or universe, whatever you want to call it, it has ways that are so much higher than you that logically, if you told me that this is how it was supposed to happen, I would not believe you. But it did. That's how this law works. So all of this to say, I guess I had to give you that story to like give you just like an inspiration to just like don't like, once you assume it's done, it's done. Like it's just done. Like, once you have lived from the end in your head, once you have visualized that in your head, whatever your goal is, a house, being in a relationship, whatever it is, once you've imagined it and felt it to be real, it is done. The how and the when is out of your hands. And whoever's telling you that, oh, it shouldn't take longer than this amount of time, or it shouldn't take longer than that amount of time, they don't know shit. Okay? Neville's brother himself, Victor, okay, he imagined every day, twice a day for 2 years. And then he got that apartment building for free, or that business or whatever. You listen to Live in the End, but like that had to happen. Like Victor literally did this for 2 years straight. So people who are saying that it takes like a certain amount of time, don't listen to them. Just feel it real. That's all you need to do. Just feel it real. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow, I think. But yeah, let's go out.